Well, the start of the season is just a few days away. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's come up pretty quickly. 2 seasons in 1 year, short break between the two, and yeah, season 7's upon us already. But it's super exciting. The anticipation of the week. The round 1 starts tonight. So yeah, it's just an exciting time for all of us.
Yeah, a huge blow with the Antonio is injured and Gemma obviously leaving as well. How do you go about trying to cover those losses?
Yeah, it is difficult. Unfortunately, with Cara with the hamstring, quite a serious hamstring, and Ebony unfortunately hitting the goalpost and really unfortunate PCL injury. And I guess Gemma leaving and we lost Steph Kane as well to expansion sides, but it's probably less about covering those players and more about building up our young talent that we've already got. And they've had the opportunity to have a season already this year, and to give them another opportunity in the same year is something we've never been able to do before. So we're banking on our experienced players teaching those girls, and the ones that sort of came into fruition a little bit last season to really step up their game as well.
That can take some time to do to build up those young players. Do you want to hit the ground running, or is this a team that's running?
No, I think we still have the ability to hit the ground running. It's going to be a tough game, round 1 anyway, with Brisbane. They're a fantastic side and have been for a long period of time. But the 21 girls that are out there, I know that they all work together really well, really strong. And with the loss we talked about the loss of Gemma Houghton, but we have Anya Tai, who's only improving in her impact on games, and she'll probably play a little bit more forward than what she did last year, and it gives our forward line a little bit of a different dynamic. But I've always spoken about change can be a really good thing and can put you that next step ahead, and we've sort of been sitting at that almost position for a few years, and we want to take that next step, and a bit of change is sometimes what you need.
How different has been preparing for this season? There was uncertainty about the start date, and then you like you said, you finished the season, had a pre-season, started another season in the space of 6 months. How different has it been preparing for this?
Yeah, I kind of forget, not that long ago we didn't even know if it was going to happen. It was more of, prepare like it's going to happen, and then we'll just wait and see. So for it to then, be announced that, it's 100% happening, and from that point forward it's all guns blazing and you sort of run through. But our pre-season had to be a bit different to normal. Usually you really ramp it up, and there's a lot of running and sort of building that base fitness. But this season we've got the base fitness, we've done all that work already. It was more in the off season keeping the fitness and then building on our football skills during pre-season.
A lot of the captains haven't given Freo much chance this year. Do you use that as motivation? Is that a fair reflection of where your team's at?
I think they never really do. I don't think there's ever been a season really that most of the captains have said that we're going to do well. One of the seasons they all said we were going to be wooden spooners, so it just gives us a little bit of drive. And we've actually got up in our change rooms at the moment I think it's a few journalists that have said that we're the most likely team to drop out of finals this year, and we kind of look at all that and you go, you don't want to give it too much sort of airtime, but you use it as a bit of motivation to go, well, that's not what we're about, that's not where we're at, and we want to prove them wrong, I guess.
So you've got articles up in the newsroom?
Yeah, we do. Yep, and just so the girls can sort of see that sort of stuff and use it as a drive towards, we think we're certainly going to make finals and we want to be really competitive this year. And again, it doesn't matter what the outside say, as long as we believe in between the four walls that we can do it, then that's all that matters.
How important is Sunday when you've got probably one of the hardest road trips? You've got Brisbane who are good. How much of an asset test is this for the season?
Yeah, I think it is a really big one for round 1, probably the biggest round 1 that we've had, across the 6 years previous, and it will be a big test for sure going over to Brisbane. We haven't been over to Brisbane since 2018, so it'll certainly be a test, and we've got a lot of hard games in our fixture, which is, you can look at it either way, but for us we look at it, if you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best. So it'll put us in good stead if we can get a few wins on the road especially, but against some of those tougher teams, it'll put us in good stead at the end of the season.
So who wins the first flag, you guys or the men?
Oh, I'm going to have to say the men because I want them to win it this year, and it'll be just before our first one.
You personally took your game to a higher level last season. How much extra attention are you expecting this year, and what have you done to improve your game even more?
Yeah, I probably would expect a little bit more. Maybe there may be a tag or two, but the fact that we've still got Kiara Bowers running through the midfield with me, your teams are going to sort of shoot, and most teams won't have more than one tagger, so they've got to tag either myself or Turbo, or even Gabby O'Sullivan's been flying this pre-season. So our midfield depth is really strong, and I know that all of those girls, whether it's me or Turbo or whoever it is that gets tagged or a little bit more attention, that we'll all support each other, and we've certainly spoke about how we're going to sort of crack that, and it's as a team and working together.
How's your calf, Hayley? Obviously held you out of those pre-season matches. Do you expect it to slow you down at all in the early stages? Or?
No, it has been a bit of an interrupted pre-season, unfortunately, and a few niggles here and there, but the missing out on the pre-season games was probably more so not aggravating it any further and not sort of putting it at risk when it wasn't quite ready. So had a good couple of weeks on the track and feeling really strong and ready to go.
Leaving Hoffman and Maddie Scanlon have been announced as two-bit debutantes. What are you expecting from that pair?
Yeah, both of them are ripper players. Maddie just got sort of announced today, and she's a good young player coming through and will slot into our backline seamlessly. And Meg is just absolutely blown everyone away in the pre-season. She works incredibly hard, so it's no surprise how good she really is. But coming from amateur football straight into AFLW, you kind of weigh up, is she going to have that impact straight away? But she just come in and the professionalism and drive that she has to improve herself and work for the team is just, she kicked all our goals in our pre-season games, so she's primed to be really damaging this season.
Just before your season starts and the guys play their finals, do you and Nat have any chats about captain things or what to expect and what to do?
Well, we sort of we had a little bit of time between this press conference today and heading in for the Power of Sport event, and we've had a bit of a chat about a couple of different leadership things, but don't have a whole lot of crossover at the moment with COVID and things like that. It is pretty separate, just to make sure that we're not compromising their season and them not us. But he's certainly a great leader for me to lean on and learn from.
And you spoke about wanting to take that next step after being there or thereabouts for the past few years. What do you think is going to be the biggest area of improvement within the game?
I think for us it's bringing the your middle range and your lower range players up to the standard above where they were last season. We haven't had the best hands in the drafts in the last couple of years, so we've really had to focus on the development of those players. And I think to win a premiership or really contend for one, you have to have a really strong spread across the ground. You can't have a couple of stars just pulling everyone along. So it's going to be an absolute team effort, and you're only as good as your 30th on the list. So that's the sort of approach we've gone with.